1. Failure is a possibility that can happen. If things don't fail, you don't innovate enough. 2. If something is important enough, even if the possibility is against you, you should still do it. 3. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then it's likely to happen. 4. Work extra hard. I mean, you need to spend 80 to 100 hours a week every week. This will increase the chances of success. 5. People work better when they know what the purpose is and why. It is important that people come to work in the morning and enjoy the work. 6. Patience is a virtue, and I learned patience. It's a hard lesson. 7. Life is too short for long-term grudges. 8. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. That something has to be better. 9. You want to be extra hard at making the best thing you can. Find everything wrong with it and fix it. Look for negative feedback, especially from your friends. 10. A brand is just a perception, and perception will match oneself with reality over time. Sometimes it will be in front, other times it will be in the back. But a brand is just a collective impression that people have of a product. 11. Persistence is very important. You shouldn't give up unless you are forced to surrender. 12. If there is something important enough, you should try, even if the possible result is failure. 13. When you're trying to make a company, it's like baking. You must have all the ingredients in the right proportions. 14. It's very important to like the people you work with, otherwise your life and work will be very sad. 15. It's okay to put all your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. 16. My biggest mistake is probably to rely too much on talent and not someone's personality. I think it's important for someone to have a good heart. 17. You want to have a future where you can expect something to be better, not a time where you expect something to get worse. 18. You have to be moved enough to make it happen. Otherwise, you will only make yourself miserable. 19. Optimism, pessimism, fuck that, we're going to make it happen. 20. When I was in college, I wanted to get involved in things that would change the world. Now I've done it. 21. I wouldn't say I have a little fear. However, I want my emotions of fear to be lessened because it is so disturbing and boils my nervous system. 22. I have come to the conclusion that we must aspire to increase the scope and scale of human consciousness in order to better understand what questions to ask. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to fight for greater collective enlightenment. 23. I can just watch it happen or be a part of it. 24. I think this is the single best advice. Keep thinking about how you can do things better and question yourself. 25. The idea of sunbathing on the beach as the main thing I did seemed to be the worst idea. Sounds awful to me. I'm going to go crazy. I will use drugs. I'm going to be super duper bored. I like high intensity. 26. Some people don't like change, but you need to accept change if the alternative is a disaster. 27. I've always had optimism, but I'm realistic. Not in the hope of great success I started Tesla or SpaceX. It's just that I think they are important enough to do. 28. There is an overwhelming bias towards risk-taking. Everyone is trying to avoid it. 29. My motivation for all my companies is to get involved in something that I thought would have a significant impact on the world. 30. I thought life on Earth must have been more than solving problems. It has to be something inspiring, even if it's not a big thing. 31. Using PayPal, I thought, what are some of the issues that most affect the future of mankind? Not from the perspective of, what's the best way to make money? 32. I'm interested in things that change the world or that affect the future through new technological wonders where you see it and say, wow, how did that happen? How is that possible? 33. Why do you want to live? What's the use? What inspires you? What do you like about the future? And if the future doesn't include being out there among the stars and being a multiplanetary species, it would be very sad if that wasn't the future we would have. 34 If you wake up in the morning and think the future will be better, it's a sunny day. Not if it's the other way around. 35 Don't trick yourself into thinking that something works when it doesn't, or you'll be fixated on a bad solution. 36 If you go back a few hundred years, what we take for granted today will feel like magic: being able to talk to people remotely, to transmit images, to fly, access large amounts of data like a fortune teller. These are all things that were considered magic a few hundred years ago. 37 I thought it was possible for an ordinary person to choose to be extraordinary. 38 Don't be afraid of the new arena. 39 As much as possible, avoid hiring MBAs. MBA programs don't teach people how to create a company. 40 Great corporations are built on great products. 41 Being an entrepreneur is like eating a glass and staring into the abyss of death. 42 I think you should always remember that entropy is not on your side. 43 I think most of the important things on the internet have been built. 44 Inches, physics is a good framework for thinking, simmer until the fundamental truth and arguments emerge from there. 45 Starting and growing a business is equivalent to the innovation, drive, and determination of the people who do it as it is with the products they sell. 46 Truly, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment.